Hello everyone, thank you for joining me to read the next part of our class text, The Rotten Romans. The Rotten Roman Army. In the year AD 43, the Romans invaded Britain. The Roman army didn't run all of Roman Britain. Once they'd won the battles, they moved on to fight somewhere else. Towns were built in the beaten bits with Roman lords in charge. Just in case the Britons felt like revolting, the Romans let retired Roman soldiers settle in the land outside the towns, a circle of trusted men to warn off danger. And if the battered Brits did give trouble, then the army could get back quickly to help by marching along the new Roman roads. Your teacher will tell you all about the legions and what they wore and how they lived, but they don't know everything. Test your teacher. Ask your teacher these questions. Can they get more than 5 out of 10? Can you? Okay, seeing as most of us are not in school, why don't you test an adult or a sibling? Or why don't you answer the questions yourself? Have a quick pause of the video in a moment and grab a pencil and some paper so that you can note down your answers. Okay, are you ready? If you were a Roman soldier, question 1, what would you wear under your leather kilt? A, nothing. B, underpants. C, fig leaves. Question 2, where would you drive on the Roman roads? A, on the right. B, down the centre. Or C, on the left. Okay, if you need to pause the video now to have a moment to note down your answers, that's okay. Question 3, how long would you have to stay in the army once you joined? A, 25 years. B, 5 years. Or C, for the rest of your life. Question 4, who could you marry? A, your granny. B, no one. Or C, a Roman. Question 5, who paid for your uniform, weapons, food and burial? Is it A, the emperor. B, your granny. Or C, you paid for them yourself out of your wages? Question 6, how tall did you have to be? A, over 1.8 meters. B, between 1.6 and 1.8 meters. Or C, tall enough to touch your toes? Question 7, what would you use instead of toilet paper? A, a sponge on the end of a stick. B, your tunic. Or C, the daily newspaper? Question 8, your spear, a pilum, had a 60-centimeter metal head that would snap off after it hit something. Why do you think that is? A, so that the enemy couldn't pick up the spear and throw it back. Is it B, so you could put the metal head in your pocket when you were marching? Or C, because the Roman armorers couldn't make the head stay on? Question 9, why was one Roman centurion called Give Me Another? Is it A, because he liked his soldiers to sing as they marched? When they'd finished one song, he'd call out, Give me another? Or B, because he was greedy, and after eating a pig's head, he'd cry out, Give me another? Or is it C, because he cruelly beat his soldiers so hard, he smashed his canes and had to call out, Give me another? Okay. And lastly, question 10. Why would the army doctor not notice your screams as he treated your wounds? A, because he enjoyed making you suffer. B, because he was trained to carry on without caring about a soldier's cries. Or is it C, because the Romans only employed deaf men as doctors? Okay, those are our questions. Let's go through the answers. So the answer to question 1, you would wear B, underpants under your kilt. Question 2, the answer is you would drive C, on the left side of the Roman roads. And it states, but they often barged straight down the middle of the town street in their chariots. They marched there too, trampling anyone who got in their way with their hobnailed boots. Question 3, if you put A, you are correct. You would have to join the army for 25 years and stay there. Question 4, who could you marry? The answer is B, no one. but they often had wives outside of the camp. Question 5, the answer is C. You would have to pay for them yourself out of your wages. Question 6, the answer is B, between 1.6 and 1.8 meters. But this rule was sometimes broken when the army was desperate for men, and the men who were too small might still have to work for the army even if they couldn't fight. Question 7. What did you use instead of toilet paper? The answer was A, a sponge on the end of a stick, and you share it with everyone else in the public toilets. Sometimes you'd use a lump of moss though, and that would be flushed away. Question 8, the answer was A, so that the enemy couldn't pick up the spear and throw it back. The answer to question C, what do you think? It was C, because he cruelly beat his soldiers so hard he smashed his canes and had to call out, "Give me another." And the answer to our last question is B, because the doctor enjoyed making you suffer. Okay, those are all of our questions. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you join me in the next video when we read the next part of our class text. Bye everyone.